What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It is starting 11 prediction time for the big one tomorrow night against Bruges in the Champions League at Celtic Park. It's match day 5. We currently sit on 7 points and we come into it in great shape after the 4-1 victory at Tynecastle on Saturday. If you want to know more about Club Brugge, you can watch my preview that I did with Hans from the Club podcast last night. He gave some great insight. We also looked at the team, which we'll look briefly at again in this video tonight, but it was good to hear from Hans about how their season has gone so far, how they've played in the Champions League, how he thinks they might approach this game tomorrow at Celtic Park. So you can find all that over on that video, which I'll link up here and at the end. But what a prospect tomorrow to begin into match day 5, sitting in 7 points. I think Cameron Carter-Vickers alluded to the target that the team set today being somewhere around 10 points. I think 9-10 points is what we all thought was a reasonable points target going into this campaign after the draw was made, and to begin to match day 5 with the opportunity to make 10 points a reality is incredible. We've done so well in these 4 games, Dortmund aside. We've put ourselves in a brilliant position. We've never faced Club Brugge before, so it's always good to play someone you've never faced. Gives a different sort of edge to the tie, but we know the atmosphere will be incredible. It'll be a full house at Celtic Park, and as I say, the team are in brilliant shape, brilliant form. I just think we have to be wary, even if it's just as supporters, because you don't expect the manager and the players to be underestimating any opponent, let alone one in the Champions League of Club Brugge quality. But I think we just need to be wary that just because we've beat Leipzig, get a good point in Bergamo, doesn't mean that this game is a foregone conclusion tomorrow night. Hans was keen to point out that he's been quite impressed with how the Bruges manager has handled the Champions League games tactically so far. When I watched Bruges in the San Siro against AC Milan, that was the impression I got as well. They were set up really well in the first half. They didn't go gung-ho in terms of pressing AC Milan and chasing them. They sort of sat in the mid-press on the halfway line, waited for their moments to close AC Milan down, but they were really, really good on the counter-attack. I'd expect them to set up similarly tomorrow, and Hans did say that he doesn't expect them to be as open as Leipzig were at Celtic Park. So a different style for us, but as I say, what a prospect, and what an exciting game to look forward to, given how we're sitting in the table, but also the form that we've been in. We'll get to the lineup in just a second. Let's have a quick look at the Bruges team. I think the 2 changes that Hans thinks from the team that I had up last night are De Kuyper at left back, because Meyer's injured, and Jutgla, who he played up front in San Siro, but I think he is going to drop out. He hasn't played the last couple of league games. Vermont has done that, so I think he might start up front. 4-3-3, as I just said. I'd expect them to pick their moments to come and close us down and presses, and really try and hit us in the counter through the likes of Solis on the left-hand side, Skov Olsen as well if he starts on the right-hand side, and Van Aken in the middle, who's a big presence and a big threat for them. So we're going to have to be wary. We're going to have to be right at our top level, and the sort of pressing and intensity and the attacking sides of our game that we brought against Leipzig are now the bar, and that's what we'll be looking for the team to get to tomorrow. And if we can put in a performance of a similar level, albeit Bruges might be set up tactically different, if we can match those levels for the Leipzig game, I give us a brilliant chance of winning this football match. So let's look then at the Celtic team for tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be too many changes. I think there's one big question mark over the starting 11, but we'll start in goals as we always do with Kasper Schmeichel. He was gutted to lose a goal the other night. You could tell he was really frustrated with midfield and defence in front of him, letting Dramé get that shot away into the far corner. Just a wee bit of lack of intensity at that point in the game. 3-0 up. He'd have been eyeing another clean sheet, but aside from that, a couple of saves to make first half. Hearts had a few chances in the game, but nothing out with the routine really for Kasper Schmeichel. Back 4, Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Trusty and Taylor. I'm going unchanged. My gut feeling is just that Taylor will get the nod. I don't think he was brilliant on Saturday by any means. I thought on the ball in the first half he was really poor actually. He turned it over too easily. He had one really risky pass where he fired it into Callum McGregor, bouncing at knee height, square pass across the face of our box, and it let Hearts in for a shot at goal. We would like him to perform better tomorrow. I just get the feeling that Vi is not going to start. I don't know why. I've seen a bit of a training video today, and Vi didn't look too happy. Maybe that sort of swayed my decision a wee bit, but I think that'll be the back four. Trusty and Carter Vickers. Some debate in the comments about how harshly treated Scales has been, given he didn't take part on Saturday and he's sort of dropped out of the team all of a sudden. I think that is a harsh reality playing football at this level. He's been brilliant, Liam Scales. He's came on leaps and bounds. All the plaudits he's had in the last 18 months have been deserved, but it's clear that Brendan Rodgers would like to proceed with Austin Trusty when everything's equal and everybody's fit. He thinks that's his best too, and if it is because Trusty edgy Scales on pace, then so be it. It's difficult to play for Celtic at this level, and sometimes you're going to drop out of the team. Liam Scales will come back into the team, I've got no doubt about it. We're going to need to use the squad through this busy period. He's a very valuable player to have when the manager needs to make changes in between these big games, but I think tomorrow it'll be Carter Vickers and Trusty in midfield. Callum McGregor will lead the team, obviously. Vio Hatate, I expect, will definitely keep his place, and I suppose the other midfield position is the one where there's a bit of debate around whether Arnie Engels will start against his former club or Paulo Bernardo will get the nod. I thought Bernardo was good off the bench at the weekend. That's always the case with Bernardo. Every time he comes off the bench, you think he looks a proper player. He's got a great intensity about him, brilliant at winning the ball back, covers a lot of ground, shows great quality as well to just stab it in for Ida's first goal. After Hatate's good footwork, the ball just breaks and Bernardo gets there first and plays a lovely wee pass into Ida for the goal. He's a brilliant player, Paulo Bernardo. And when Brendan Rodgers said after the game at the weekend, it's a crime I can't play all of these players, or it's a crime I can't start all of these players, I think at the top of the list is Paulo Bernardo. But I do think Engels will keep his place. It's against his former club. I don't think that's why Brendan Rodgers will be starting him. Don't get me wrong, but I've just got a feeling he'll keep his place. I don't think Brendan Rodgers will be at a place in his head where he thinks I have to drop him or I have to take him out of the team. He's young, he's developing, and if we forget about the price tag, yes, we would like him to be performing a bit better, but there's lots of examples around the current Celtic squad. You don't even have to look too far back to see players who have been judged too quickly and who have needed time to really hit the heights. And Nicholas Kuhn is the prime example of that. So I don't think we should be rushing to judgment on Engels. Yes, I would like him to be doing more. I think Saturday was a prime example of that. He's been away to play for Belgium. He's only really just breaking into their first team national setup. So this will be new to him, playing at that level internationally, coming back and having to perform in a team that has to win week in and week out. But those are the things that he has to develop. Those are the things that he has to get to grips with and settle into so that he can show his best level. Yes, we're still waiting on that, but let's hope it can be tomorrow. And for him, a bit of motivation against his former club. Let's hope that is the case. Right hand side, Kuhn, another absolutely incredible goal at the weekend. That was by far the goal of the game for me. So clinical on the counter attack. I think his first pass into Maeda was just a wee bit under his feet, but Maeda manages to get it back to him, and he just unleashes this shot high past Craig Gordon at the near post into the top corner. Brilliant scenes it was in the away end. It's brilliant to score a counter attacking goal like that, and to have a finish where it's lashed into the roof of the net. Another goal for him. He's put up numbers that if any old winger that we've ever had finished a season, you'd go, do you know what, that's a pretty decent season. 11 goals, 10 assists. And where are we? November. It's not even December yet. So he's having an incredible season. Again, it's another chance for him to impress tomorrow at Champions League level. If the Germany manager is keeping tabs on him, Club Brugge, games against teams like Club Brugge in the Champions League are going to be the games that might make the difference between him getting a call up or not, because we know that on an international level, managers don't tend to look fondly upon Scottish football. So if he harbours those ambitions, tomorrow's another chance for him to impress everybody, and that'll stand us in good stead. Left hand side, Maeda looked a wee bit jaded, a wee bit tired. A lot of petulant fouls he gave away on Saturday at Tynecastle. He could possibly have been booked before he was, and then it was an absolute stonewall yellow card when he eventually booted Cammy Devlin. But who can blame him for booting Cammy Devlin, because that's what Cammy Devlin does, just runs about booting everybody else for 90 minutes. I expect a better performance from him tomorrow. I think his pressing in these games at this level is really, really important for us. His energy, his work rate, are the things that set the tone defensively for the whole team, and Kyogo goes alongside him in those stakes as well. I think that front three are all in good moments. Maeda probably at the bottom of the list, but Kyogo gets back on the score sheet the other day. I said in the video I thought it was 78 goals. Turns out that was his 80th, but looking back at the stats, I think we might be counting a goal in the Sydney Super Cup to get him to 80. I think it could be 79, and I'm not counting the goals in the Sydney Super Cup. So 79 or 80 goals, whatever it is in 150 games, it's a phenomenal return. And again, for him to add to his Champions League tally would really be special tomorrow. He got a few goals last season in the competition. But again, it'd be another fella in his cap if he can get on the score sheet tomorrow. But also, he has that defensive role in terms of pressing Bruges from minute one. And with the crowd behind us, as we often see in these games, we need to get a fast start. The crowd and the team have got a really important link, and it's not just all about the crowd creating the atmosphere. The players have got to give the crowd something to feed off of, as we've seen time and time again. And to their credit, they've been doing that, particularly in these home Champions League games. So having won the last three on the spin, going back to Feyenoord last season, which seemed like a dead rubber at the time, but it did get the monkey off the back in terms of a Champions League victory. And then Bratislava, which was excellent at the time, to win a Champions League game 5-1, get us off to a flying start. But really Leipzig was the one where we've taken a proper scalp of a really good European side, and hopefully we can build on that tomorrow. By no means is this going to be an easy game for us. I expect it to be really difficult, but we're in great shape, and if we can start the game well tomorrow, get the crowd behind us, and really put Bruges under pressure, I think we've got a brilliant chance of getting another excellent 3 points in this Champions League phase. So there you go, that's the lineup I think Brendan Rodgers will go with tomorrow. Let me know who you think will start below. Is there any other key questions for Brendan Rodgers other than midfield? Do you think it'll be Engels? Do you think it'll be Bernardo? Let us know. Wherever you're watching the game tomorrow night, enjoy it, and we will see you outside Celtic Park with full-time reaction. Thank you.